We are here in Hong Kong for Bitcoin Asia, the largest Bitcoin event in Asia, guys. It's going to be phenomenal. Over 15,000 people across 2 days is coming to the show. Today, I'm going to take you around the event. We're going to interview some of the top speakers, check out some of the top exhibitors, and see what is going on across the exhibition floor. Guys, Bitcoin hit $124,000 just a couple of weeks ago. The excitement for Bitcoin is palpable. Institutions are buying Bitcoin like there is no tomorrow. So let's have a look inside and see what's going on.
The reality is that there's only 1 million Bitcoin left. And then for me to actually go to Trump Tower, have dinner with President Trump,
That's insane.
and tell him the story. I think that everybody will be using wallets in probably 5 to 10 years. They just won't think of it as a wallet, like a Walmart and Amazon. We're going to see these big Fortune 500 companies create stable coins.
$800,000 Bitcoin in January 2026. You said after this end of the year, right?
I said
January the 1st.
that's right.
Okay, guys, so next up, we're going from privacy to mainstream adoption, because crypto is only actually useful if people can actually use it. And now I've got one of the leading figures, guys, in self-custody, the CEO of Exodus Wallet. JP, welcome to the show, bro.
All right, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I've never been to Hong Kong before, so it's great to be here.
It's a great reason to be here for Bitcoin Asia. So I just saw you on the stage about, what, an hour and a half ago?
Yeah.
Rocking it up there, full house, killing it. You're talking about stacking sats and why it's so important for people to do so right now. So what were the kind of key takeaways from your speech?
The reality is that there's only 1 million Bitcoin left to be mined. Yeah. And that's over the course of the next century. So when people think about it in that perspective, there's not a lot of Bitcoin to grab. And so I think because so many institutions, so many governments are getting involved in Bitcoin, in crypto, people need to move to stack sats ASAP for so many different reasons, but that's the core takeaway is people gotta move. I am going to put a lot of money behind the Trump campaign and have the company backstand with crypto and all these political organizations that are very pro-crypto. And so to your question, to see the transformation, to see President Trump come out to Nashville, speak to everybody, and then for me to actually go to Trump Tower, have dinner with President Trump,
That's insane.
and tell him the story.
That's
yeah,
insane.
it's wild.
Goosebumps
Oh,
moment.
it's wild.
Yeah.
And then to ultimately for President Trump to get elected, for us to finally be approved to go back to the New York Stock Exchange, list and go public in January was just such a wild ride.
Yeah, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's epic.
Thank you.
So tell me more about Exodus Wallet. You know, obviously, I think you guys have integrated quite a lot now into your wallet. You have NFTs, swaps, various other, services in there. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I remember when crypto wallets were just simply a wallet. Like, you hold your Bitcoin and you send it. And now they're becoming like the everything app.
Yes.
I guess that's also a goal of Exodus Wallet.
Yes.
And do you see in the future, instead of people saying, I'm using Binance, I'm using OKX, they're just saying, I'm using Exodus Wallet?
I think that everybody will be using wallets in probably 5 to 10 years. They just won't think of it as a wallet.
Yeah.
So like a consumer is just going to be like, oh, I have an app to manage my dollars, my Bitcoin, and my Tesla stock. So all the assets, everything is going to converge into one.
Yeah.
But it will be powered by wallets. And so I don't think people are going to think about it like wallets, but to your question, yeah, absolutely. Everybody will have a wallet. They will be using wallets. And so, yeah, I think there's huge opportunity for us as a company, for consumers to actually safely protect their assets. Payments still suck, right? Like if I'm going to pay you directly peer-to-peer, depending upon which, it's like, it's either a Venmo or it's a Cash App or it could be some other peer-to-peer app, right?
Yeah.
To go wire money and things like that, it's just payments suck. And payments are issues that every single person on the planet faces. And so we think that there's a really strong opportunity there to simplify everything and create very simplified payment experiences.
So like, have you seen any specific trends recently of certain areas of the world which are starting to get more and more kind of adoption of crypto?
Yeah, stable coins, they continue to grow in popularity.
Yeah.
And so again, there's an opportunity there to simplify all that. Because really at the end of the day, if you're a consumer, you don't care whether you have USDC, USDT, you don't care. Like you just want a simplified payments experience like, oh, I have my dollars, I just want to pay for things.
Yeah, it's getting a bit annoying. There's too many stablecoins coming out every week, you know. Was it MUSD, the MetaMask one the other day?
Yes.
And obviously there's USD1 coming, and well, it's here now, but yeah, it's just getting confusing.
Absolutely. You know what they're going to do? The one way all of them are going to try to differentiate themselves. They're going to try to differentiate themselves based upon like the rewards. That's what they're going to do, because that's the only way you can differentiate yourself. Is you're going to have to be like, and maybe
like a credit card, like.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see that as a trend. And I also think that we're going to see like a Walmart and Amazon. We're going to see these big Fortune 500 companies create stable coins because they're going to want to undercut the credit cards, right? Like, why do they want to pay 3% to the credit cards when they can pay nothing by adopting stable coins? And so when they adopt stable coins, what are consumers going to need? They're going to need a wallet.
We have to ask you, this cycle, what do you think is going to be the all-time high for Bitcoin price?
Okay, so if the cycle ends in December, I think we might hit 200,000, might. If it goes on and you have events like the United States and other countries starting to really stack sats, I think that we'll see Bitcoin cross over the market cap of gold. And so therefore that translates into a price beyond $800,000. So I think that's possible.
Okay, well, look guys, you heard it here first. $800,000 Bitcoin in January 2026. You said after the end of the year, right?
I said
January the 1st.
That's right. There's a little bit to it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, probably have to put the wine down after that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay, final question. Obviously, you're a wallet. You're there for everyone. I think you've got a really, really great consumer-facing app. I know you focus a lot on UX and making it easy for everyone. So awesome job. How do people get hold of Exodus Wallet? How do they download it? App Store?
Just head over to exodus.com or you can search in the App Store for Exodus, whether you're on Android or iPhone, and it's easy to find. Or you can just search Exodus, and Exodus is more popular than the Bible. It comes up first. So it's there. It's pretty easy to find.
Awesome. All right, JP, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, as you can imagine, the guys and gentlemen that I've actually spoken to here are all permables on Bitcoin. There's obviously tons and tons of opportunity now coming in because of all the institutional money flowing into Bitcoin. And that's what a lot of projects out here on the exhibition floor are all about today. So why don't you come join me? We're going to go on the exhibition floor and see what their thoughts are on the future of Bitcoin. Gift set. Where's my gift set? No, don't. That's crypto, guys. Yeah. Okay, so it's a scam. Whew, it's gone. Oh, thank you. Oh, a fan. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. Yeah, a fan. Thank you. Let's see, we've got MetaPlanet here. MetaPlanet, of course, like one of the biggest companies buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin almost weekly at the moment, guys. Unbelievable booth here. Look at that huge, huge booth here. Everyone wearing orange, got this big ball, but apparently there's no one here to interview for MetaPlanet, so let's keep going around the exhibition. John, how's it going, John? What is Moon Inc?
Moon Inc. is a publicly listed company in Hong Kong on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. We've been operating in Hong Kong for 30 years, mostly in the telecommunications space, prepaid product sector in the US and in Hong Kong. Just rolled out our first kind of Bitcoin related product, a prepaid Bitcoin card.
Oh,
it's going to be fantastic. And then we've been acquiring Bitcoin as a long-term treasury asset this year as well. So looking to provide investors exposure to Bitcoin via a public company in Hong Kong. and kind of have the long-term vision of being that exposure point for Greater China. So, I came from BTC Inc., which puts on the conference, to join Moon when a group of us made the acquisition of 1723 this past year. And so right now it's kind of the process of preparing the company for a future that's more kind of Bitcoin dependent, we think, over the long term. So we're in the first stages of that process, but happy with where we are. We think we're in a good position in the Greater China market for that kind of treasury play to work well long term. And we're just getting started. So it's great to have everyone here in Hong Kong on our home turf and meeting kind of Bitcoiners from around the world to show them what that Greater China market looks like and what that demand looks like.
Thanks for your time. We'll keep an eye on Mooning. Cheers.
Sure, yeah. I've been in the crypto space since 2013. Then in 2018, we launched Cake Wallet. That could be an issue with any proof of work coins out there.
So, Vic, it's the first day here at Bitcoin Asia.
Yep.
Obviously, maybe you could give our audience a bit of background about yourself and Cake Wallet.
Sure, yeah. I've been in the crypto space since 2013. I became a believer immediately. It just clicked for me.
Yeah.
And what really clicked for me was the permissionless nature of Bitcoin. I think that's more important than anything else. And I think the second most important thing was self-custody. And they go hand in hand, where you control your money and you spend it the way you want without going to a third party. And that was just a mind-blowing thing for me back in 2013. Then in 2018, we launched Cake Wallet.
Yeah.
With that in mind, with self-custody, privacy, and just being fully permissionless. And it's been a great ride so far. Sure. So silent payment's one of the privacy tools we have for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You've heard everybody in Bitcoin say, don't reuse an address, right?
Yeah.
So every time somebody wants to send you Bitcoin, you have to generate a new address and send it to them. Or then you got to generate a new address and send it to them. It's very difficult. Silent payments is very interesting. You generate one silent payment address and you give that one address to everybody. And now every time somebody uses your silent payment address, a new address is generated for you on the sender side. So if I'm using Cake Wallet and I have your silent payment address and I use it, a new on-chain address will be generated for you that only you can access with your private keys. Now, I can't see if you send it to Bob or Alice, I can't see, the new address is generated. I can't see what's happening in your other addresses, right? New address is generated. And the other interesting thing is when I use it again, yet a new address is generated for you. So, if you're taking donations online or payments online, you don't want everyone to know what donations you're getting, how much donations, how much money you've collected or payments you've collected. So it's best to put your silent payment address publicly. Then anytime anybody donates you money or makes a payment, they're getting a new address and they can't see any of your transactions or how much money you've gotten. So I think it's a very important privacy tool, and I want more wallets copy our code, steal our code, because I would love to see that being more widespread. It actually took place. I mean, it seems the attackers, I mean, they say it's not malicious, it's to prove a point, and we won't get into that. But I guess they have access to a lot of mining, and they divert that mining. I think it's an AI company, I think. Don't quote me on that. And it's definitely an issue. And that could be an issue with any proof of work coins out there if you don't have enough decentralized mining. And that's a problem. And that's something that is being discussed in the Monero world, how to improve that. There's various proposals out there to defend the Monero network and mining from these types of happening again. So,
Right, Vic, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. I hope you have an amazing Bitcoin Asia conference.
thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
I'll see you next time. Thank you. you've done a pretty impressive job since then. I mean, you've just raised, was it $12 million for Union?
It's kind of like the first ZKL1.
I want to know about the U token.
I particularly like this flywheel because there is a revenue source that's not you.
It is popping off here. It is day one of Bitcoin Asia, and I've actually bumped into an old friend of mine, Karel, the co-founder and CEO of Union. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good to see you again. Has been, what, 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years or so, yeah. I mean, look, Karel, since we met 3 years ago, it seems like you've done a pretty impressive job since then. I mean, you've just raised, was it $12 million for Union?
Yeah, correct. So we closed our Series A.
Okay, so before we get into the details, just for those of people that don't know yet what Union is, what is Union?
Yeah, Union is kind of like the first ZKL1. So effectively what we are is the octopus in between chains that is used both for connecting DeFi protocols, transferring assets. The L1 functions as a proof aggregation layer, so validates or sequence ZK proofs coming in and aggregate them. That forms the backbone of how we do asset transfers, and it's really a fancy way for us to not need multi-sigs or oracles. So there's no like trust assumption on the Union team. It means that we can't steal any of the assets. It means we get an extremely secure backbone for this ecosystem that we are building.
Which, currently, which chains are you plugged into?
Yeah, so we're plugged into a whole bunch of chains. Most EVM chains, we support like Sui, Aptos movement. We support all Cosmos chains, and people sleep on this, but actually a lot of non-Cosmos brand affiliated chains are Cosmos chains. Even Hyperliquid is technically one under the hood. But actually we found our main product market fit with Beta Mainnet around Babylon and the BSN ecosystem.
I want to know about the U token. Because the U token, I think you guys recently just put a Twitter post out about more information about the tokenomics and whatnot. But how is the usage of your protocol actually supporting the token price?
Yeah. So effectively, I already mentioned provers who are settling the bridge transfers. I mentioned the Union L1. The U token is central to this mechanism here. It's used to pay for gas to perform the proof aggregation. And proof aggregation is a critical component for a prover to be able to do the bridge transfers. So the way you can see it is a user pays $2 to do a bridge transfer. That $2 partially goes to the protocol, partially goes to the prover. On top of that, the prover needs to keep buying U tokens to do proof aggregation. So it creates this constant buy pressure. Next, third-party protocols can deploy smart contracts on the Union L1 because they want to be close to the order flow. They want to be in the brain of the octopus effectively. They spend more U tokens on gas as well. For users, they can effectively stake the U token to both get a share in like the US dollars and the Bitcoin that we are earning in bridge transfers, as well as to benefit from the buy pressure that the provers are doing. And all of this gets distributed back to them in more U tokens, which they can stake again. So that's kind of the flywheel that we are creating here. I particularly like this flywheel because there is a revenue source that's not you, right? And I think every great protocol needs to have people pay in a different asset for usage, because that means it's actually a useful protocol. And that's the case that we've achieved right now, and that I think we'll see expand by quite a lot. On top of that, we're incubating a few new products on top of Union, and the yield from those products also goes back into the token itself. So if you believe in I want to own a part of the octopus, right, and in the future expansion of the octopus, then the U token is the token for it.
Okay, Karel, thank you so much for joining me. Last question, where can we find out more about Union, and who are you trying to get involved? Like developers, community, how can they get involved and join your project?
Yeah, union.build is our website. @0x Kaiser Karel is my Twitter handle. If you're a builder and you're looking to build on this cross-chain octopus, reach out to us. Because I think it's going to be a very good next year.
Karel, thank you so much for joining me. It's great to catch up with you again after 3 years. Guys, that's all we've got time for. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you again next time. All right, guys, that is a wrap for Bitcoin Asia Hong Kong. What an amazing event. We had 3 really amazing interviews. And look, the excitement for Bitcoin here is palpable. Clearly, Hong Kong is becoming a hub, not just for Bitcoin, but of course, all things crypto. Of course, Hong Kong is really known to be, a sandbox for kind of mainland China money into crypto. You can see that here when we were out here on the exhibition floor talking to so many different funds and different digital asset treasury companies. Now, look, clearly the institutional yield coming into Bitcoin is causing huge excitement. Of course, the price of Bitcoin was 124K just a couple of weeks ago, and now it's all about a race, clearly, to help those institutions make more money on their Bitcoin, because right now, of course, they're not really earning that sweet yield that they're going to make on Ethereum. And clearly there's a big opportunity. We spoke to Union, of course, during the interviews about how their ecosystem is actually planning to plug into Bitcoin and be able to offer those yields, obviously in a safe and secure manner. And clearly that's where the opportunity is at the moment. Look, guys, it was an amazing show. I hope you enjoyed coming to Hong Kong with me. It's a great journey. If you enjoyed the content, do not forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, because we'll be going to other events around the world and giving you a taste of what it's like in this crypto world. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll be back here again next time.